Hello everyone, today I wanted to share my thoughts on Janet Jackson's The Velvet Rope album. If you would like to skip to my opinions, I'm going to have a timestamp on the screen right here to where you guys can skip to. The whole video will be timestamped. If you want to skip around, just check down below in my description box side. Now onto a couple quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just my personal opinion and interpretation of the songs. I'd love to hear yours down below. Just keep it respectful, please. I'm going to be reading off my phone as I always do. Sorry for any background noise and dust particles that may occur throughout the video. Everything that I referenced to make this video mention will be linked down below in my description box. Lastly, if I have anything that I forget to add, check down below. I might have a pin comment. And let's get into it. All the songs are put in specific tiers and they're not in any particular order really. I'm just reading them in the order that I wrote them down in. So first up, we're going to start off with the good tier. The first song that I have written down is Tonight's the Night. This is a Rod Stewart cover. I enjoy what she did with her vocals. I like the approach she took on the song, but I just think that I prefer the other songs in the album so much more than this one. Next up is going to be Rope Burn. I think that it's a great song. I love the production and I love her vocals on there as well. And after that, I have Anything. I really enjoy this one. For whatever reason, it really reminds me of Anytime, Any Place from the Janet album. I think it's just like the instrumentation and maybe like the subject matter or whatever. But those songs definitely remind me of each other for sure. And then I have all the interludes. I appreciate them and what they add to the album. I think they're definitely needed. They're just not full-fledged songs, which is why they're here. And lastly, I have Velvet Rope. This is the first proper song on the album, and I quite enjoy it. The instrumentation and the production are certainly spectacular on here, and just a great song overall. Next up, I have the excellent tier. I really love these songs, but they miss being my favorite by just a hair. The first one I have written down is Got Till It's Gone. I appreciate the message, how the sample elevates the song, and I think that Q-Tip had a decent verse. And it's just a really solid song overall. I enjoy myself listening to it, and the music video is particularly fantastic. Probably one of my favorite music videos that she's ever done. Represents the song so well, and I really can appreciate what they did there. She spoke with Jet Magazine about the meaning of the song, and she says, Got Till It's Gone is about a great lesson learned. Appreciate what you have while you have it. In my life, I try to take nothing for granted, even if I don't always succeed. Next up, I have My Knee. I think that this is a good song, and sonically it's very easy on the ears. My favorite lyric is whenever she says, I need you, like the flowers need the rain. I need you, like the blues needs pain. I need you, like the stars need the night. I need you, like the waves need the sea. Next up is going to be Go Deep. What I really appreciate about the song is that it has a great pocket, and the atmosphere this song has is elite as well. It just makes me so happy to listen to it. Always puts a huge smile on my face, has amazing energy all over it, and the production is very fascinating, and her vocals are great as well, which I can always appreciate. Next up is going to be Empty. The production is fresh, it's super ambitious. I really love it. Sounds futuristic, just aged so well for me, and I feel like it's a very captivating song to listen to. And I learned more about the song whenever I searched it up on Genius, and she wrote about the song, I like computers and use them to write and communicate with people all over the world. I believe computers are capable of tremendous good, but I also think about people whose only connection to other people is through a computer. I wonder what kind of reality that creates and what kind of romantic frustrations it produces. After the machine is turned off and the electric glow fades away, I wonder if you feel empty, which is just a really cool concept to write for a song, I will say. And the last song in this tier is going to be Every Time. I think that this is a delightful track. I really quite enjoy the piano. It's just really nice to listen to. I love the guitar and the production as well. I think they're just splendid overall. And I enjoy the places the song goes to overall. And her vocals are very pretty on here, I will say. And it's just about being scared to fall in love due to past bad experiences. And now into my favorite songs in the album. The first song that I have written down is I Get Lonely. This is one of the best R&B songs to ever be written and recorded. One of the best R&B songs of all time. It is so good. I love it so much. And I think it's ridiculously catchy. Her vocals are great. The music on here is exceptional with these really interesting chord progressions. The music video is one of my favorites, of course. The choreography, probably some of my favorite choreography she's ever done. Her choreography is always super strong, especially in this one. And the visuals, I mean, come on, that hat that she's wearing, I just really appreciate it all, of course. And this song is just a masterpiece in and out. I always look forward to listening to this song, and this song is a classic on its own. I just love it so much. It's just that song. Like, you listen to this song and you will get it. It's just immaculate, just immaculate. And Janet was just in her bag whenever she recorded this one, and shout out to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for the production, of course. Next up, I have written down Special hidden track Can't Be Stopped. So this is like two different songs and then they're just put together. I tend to enjoy Special more, but I think both songs are a treat, definitely. And musically, Special is really brilliant to listen to, and I appreciate the message, which is that you have to deal with your past because you try to run from it, it's going to catch up to you, and you just have to work through that pain and just grow and become a better person. And I just feel like it's it's really comforting to listen to. I have just always really, really loved it. I love the vocal performance she gives in there too. And then in terms of Can't Be Stopped, I think that it has this mesmerizing guitar lick at the beginning. I really like the instrumentation and the sentiment as well, and I think it works well as a closer for the album. I can understand why she put both of them together. And about Can't Be Stopped, Janet says, I included one hidden track because there was something else I needed to say. Can't Be Stopped is directed at young people who are discouraged or discriminated against. People who are victimized, ignored, and made to feel inferior. This is a song to my sisters and brothers who have to deal with a world filled with racism and bigotry. I want them to know that their inner strength is stronger than the forces against them. Don't let nobody tell you you ain't strong enough. Next up, I have Free Zone. I love the structure of the song. It has a slower part of the beginning, and then it has this tempo change, which is well implemented. It kind of like switches back and forth, and I can enjoy how that's implemented for sure. And it has this energy, which I just love, a really freeing song to listen to, and it's just very amazing and interesting overall. And about the song, she says, on Free Zone, I'm singing about how homophobia or any form of intolerance injures the soul. I'm singing about accepting yourself and living in a free zone where the world accepts you. Next up, I have Together Again. This is a beautiful tribute to her friends who she tragically lost to AIDS. And I love her vocals in here. They're very pretty. I love the tempo change as well. And the production is great. And I love the music video too. I think it's super wonderful. And the choreography on there is a treat as well. And about the song, she says, the song was very personal for me. I lost a lot of friends and people that I worked with to this disease, AIDS. I caught drama for that too. Before I wrote the song, I told some of the people at the label the concept for the song, and they didn't think it was a good idea. I don't think you should do that. I said, why shouldn't I? Because whatever, I thought. You know, this is really stupid. It was in my heart. And I'm glad that she released this into the world because it's a very healing song. There's something so rejuvenating about it, I will say. And I like that she made it an up-tempo as well, for sure. I think there's so much in the song, and I think it's really important for a lot of people out there. And I feel like you can listen to this and you can apply it to just someone who's passed away in general, or like whatever you want. It can just fit so many different situations. Next up, I have You written down. The instrumental on here is perfect because it represents the album title so well. One of my favorites on the entire album. It is just so good. And I like the intro. I like how her vocal delivery is and how she changes it throughout the song, and I think it works with the instrumentation well, for sure. And I love the lyrics too. My favorite is whenever she says, you gotta mean what you say, you gotta say what you mean, trying to please everyone, sacrifice your own needs, check in the mirror, my friend, no lies will be told then, pointing the finger again, you can't blame nobody but you. I think that they're very spot on, and I really like the texture of her voice that she's using. The delivery just makes it go even harder, and I think that the message is important. Ultimately, you are in control of your own life, and you're responsible for that, and you need to do what you have to do to live your best life and whatever, and don't blame other people for stuff that at the end of the day is your fault. You need to look inside, you need to self-reflect, and I just always really enjoy this one. Next up, I have What About Written. This song is about domestic violence, a very heavy subject, and I think it's very powerful. The intensity of her vocals and the instrumentation work very well together. I love the guitar and the bass line specifically going throughout the song. And I found something on Genius, and it was just her talking about the song a little bit more, so I'm going to have that on the screen right next to me, of course, so you guys can read that and everything. But I always think it's really interesting to find more info behind a song and everything, and it just makes you see the song in a different light. And it was just really interesting to learn this information, I will say. If I had to pick a favorite song on this album, it's between I Get Lonely or Special Hidden Track Can't Be Stopped. I really love those. Now I wanted to share my overall thoughts on the album with you. This is an incredible R&B album. I like all the different styles on here. Also, they are implemented well. Definitely my favorite album from her and one of my favorite albums of all time. I remember whenever I heard this for the first time, and it just really blew me away. It really captivated me. It really made me think. I was so excited to listen to it again. And I think that musically it's top notch. I appreciated how well the samples are incorporated and what they add. I love the production and instrumentation. I think they're stellar. She gives some great vocal performances on here. I think that her vocals are a treat to listen to. I like the vocal layering. I like the harmonies, all of that. The songwriting on here is super impressive. And overall, there's no skips on this album for me. Every single time I listen to it, I listen to it all the way through because I feel like that's how you have to do it. I feel like it just works best that way. This is just an album. It's so good. Also, I think it's sequenced very well. Another thing I love about this album is how refreshing it is to listen to, and it's very thought-provoking as well. Every single time I listen to this album. I feel like it gets so much from it. And I'm glad that she wasn't afraid to be vulnerable and talk about some more serious topics such as domestic violence, depression, past trauma, homophobia, and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting to read about the concept behind this album and what she was going through and all of that, which I have on the screen. I just think it's really interesting to see how everything came out in the end, and just knowing more about the album, it makes more sense and you definitely see it in a different perspective, I will say. And I also love how there's really a song for everybody. You have the hits like I Get Lonely and Together Again. You have the more sensual songs like Roll Burn and Anything. And I just really like where this album goes to in general. Plus, I can appreciate the messages that she's putting across in these songs as well. And I just think everyone should listen to this album in their life because it is that good. And I feel like I have gained so much from it, and I feel like you will too. So definitely give it a shot for sure. And overall, I just find it really hard to describe how much I love this album and how much of an impact this album has had. I just adore it so much. The next thing that I wanted to say is I love all the music videos during this era. I always love her music videos. I just really appreciate the concepts, the choreography, the looks. I just always love her artistic vision. I think that she's brilliant. Shout out to the director, shout out to the dancers, shout out to everyone who was involved in those music videos. And her music videos are just some of my favorite of all time. They're just so good. And I also just love this era overall. She had a lot of different cool looks during it, and the red hair was definitely something else. I think that she rocked it really well, and just such a treat. Next up, I wanted to say that God's Stepchild and Accept Me are great songs. I wouldn't have minded them on the album. I think that they would have fit well. I can understand why they were scrapped, but I really did enjoy them. I really wanted to say shout out to Janet, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, and everyone who was involved in making this album what it is. I just appreciate this album on so many levels. If you haven't heard this album already, you should definitely give it a shot. But if you haven't listened to Janet before, I would recommend you listen to Control and then Rhythm Nation, and then you could go to the Jen album and then you could listen to this one. That's like how I did it, and I feel like it works best that way versus just going into this one, because like I said, it is heavy on the subject matter. It is a longer album, and it just works best if you get to know those other albums well, and then you go into this one and you can really appreciate everything that she's offering in this one. Just a personal record, a brilliant record, one of my favorite records of all time. Truly a masterpiece, and one that has stood the test of time so well. I really wanted to make a video on this album and just talk about everything, and now especially was the perfect time, and I'm very excited for her documentary. I'm excited to watch it and share my thoughts on it with you guys. I probably will do that on my second channel. Also, I wanted to say, if you enjoyed this video and you wanted to see more Janet Jackson content, I did do a similar video to this wherever I was talking about Rhythm Nation 1814, which will be linked down below in the description and in the cards. But that's going to be it for my thoughts on this album. If I forgot anything, check down below. I might have a pinned comment. What do you guys think? What are your favorite songs? What are your memories with this album? Is there any information I forgot? Let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to learn. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please just give it a like. It really helps me out on the YouTube algorithm. I'd very much appreciate it. You can also subscribe right down below to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get a notification on your phone every single time I post and not miss when a brand new video comes out. First link down below in the description is going to be my second channel if you want to see more of me. I'm going to have my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify if you would like to follow me, of course, as links to stream this amazing album. If you haven't heard already, definitely a life changer. I'm telling you, you have to give it a shot. And links to educate you guys on important situations. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.